Jersey Love. Steph, and if you're out there, thank you for coming in. In this message, I just wanted to share something. Maybe you just got news that you're expecting a baby and your whole world has just flipped upside down, or maybe you were planning to get pregnant and now the time has come. Well, it's a very exciting time. Sometimes people are not planning for this, and that's a lot of times how babies are born. It's fun to make the babies, and then we have to carry the baby. The woman has to carry the baby for 9 months. And sometimes babies come early. But what I want to say is, even if you're young, there's never a perfect time to have a child. Maybe there's a more favorable time, but Mary in the Bible, she was only 16 years old. Now she carried Jesus. She had immaculate conception. He does have stepbrothers, but the Holy Spirit overshadowed her. She became pregnant, but at that time she wasn't married to Joseph. And what winds up happening is, if back in the day, if you weren't married, they would try to stone you. It was under the law of Moses, it was terrible. But Jesus always, if you look at the way Jesus was, he was always protecting the people, whether it was in their thing of, like in their traditions of what the society expected. He still didn't want anybody to be hurt. So maybe you find yourself at that point, maybe you're 16 years old and now you're pregnant. There's ways to go about it, even if you weren't decided to keep this baby, you could always give the baby for adoption and give the baby hope in the future. Sometimes that's the way to go. But I'm going to tell you, when you have the child, it's really hard to hand over that baby to somebody. But at least you would give that baby life, and give the baby a choice. And then you can always have open adoption where you're able to see the progress of your baby. But sometimes the guys take off. Let's be honest, this is just the way the world is. But the father, if you are a father, you're responsible. If a girl has become pregnant because you had maybe a one night stand, you're responsible for that child until it's 18 plus, until it's, plus till the baby's grown. Think of it, this is your flesh and blood. This is going to be your future generations. This is how your grandchildren are going to come about. So if you find yourself at that place, just know that, yes, I was 21 when I had my daughter, and I wanted to have a baby so bad. But when the baby comes, it's a bit different. You carry this baby for 9 months, and it's a lot of work on your body too. I would say try to do a little bit of exercises if if you're pregnant. Ask your doctor. Of course, we need pediatricians. You definitely have to see a pediatrician. There's no doubt about that. And there's free clinics and stuff like that. There's a lot of resources for pregnant mothers, whether you're a young mother or whether you're an old mother. So we never know when we're gonna, you could plan all you want, but sometimes it doesn't happen that way. If you wait until you're 40 something years old, it's a lot of stress on the body, but you still could carry. If you keep your body in shape, you still can carry this baby. The doctors have a lot of knowledge. Hey, good morning, Dane. How are you? But we need babies in this world. And it's a high honor to carry a child, and it's also a lot on our bodies as parents. So I would say to the fathers, you don't understand what the mother's body goes through after we carry this baby for 9 months. And you can't it's really hard to go back to work right away. You're going to have time. So the fathers, as hard as it is to hold maybe two jobs, it's really essential that you be supportive. Maybe things didn't work out between you, but you're still responsible for that child. And then, good morning, LaToria. Good morning. I don't know if you're expecting, but congratulations if you are. I wasn't, I don't want to brag about this. I wasn't married all three of my pregnancies, and people will probably say, like, some people maybe say I'm trash or whatever, but I was in committed relationships, and it just turned out that way. I didn't get married, but when you're with somebody for a long time, it's considered like a common law marriage. Of course you should, then you have more benefits if you wind up getting married, but of course you should the proper way to do things is to get married, have a child, but sometimes it doesn't happen. If you look in the Bible, Mary was not married when she conceived Jesus. And there was a lot of controversy around there. So if somebody wants to look down on you, don't let them look down on you. Things just happen, and God, every baby that comes into this world is from God above. Maybe it's not the way society, but come on, this is what it is. But Mary had she had a child before she was married. She was engaged, and Joseph almost broke off the engagement. He wasn't going to embarrass her, but the Lord appeared to him and told him, "This is." The angel of the Lord appeared to him and let him know, like, this is my child. But he raised him as his own child. He never looked to him as a stepchild. That was his son. So maybe you're in a relationship too, and now the woman is carrying a child. Then then you take that responsibility. There's ways to go about it, but that could be, if the other guy has abandoned, then you can always be a father to that child. My fiance is a stepfather to two of my children, and he did treat them as his own children. But I just want to say this. So if maybe this just happened, there's a lot of programs for mothers, women, infant, and children, WIC, and they help you, like monitor you, give you vitamins, check your iron. All this stuff is very essential when you're pregnant. You have to go for prenatal care. It's essential because they can see where your levels are and stuff like this, and then give you nutrition. You definitely have to eat healthy foods. It doesn't have to be expensive, but the WIC will give you, healthy foods and stuff. In addition to what you can provide, they do. And then, we deliver the baby. Deliver it at the hospital if you can, whatever you choose. But it's really important to be in an environment where they know what they're doing, because, if the baby gets breech or something like this, they can turn the baby. And, there's all things that happen. I had to have 3 C-sections. So I was planning to push out the baby, and I wound up having an emergency C-section with my daughter. My other son, I had a C-section because he was turned the other way. I think he was face up, and that's really dangerous when you're pushing out a baby. They can have brain damage. And then the third one, I didn't have a choice. But the first one, it is a lot on your body. But once you see the baby, you forget all the pain that you went through. It's different for every pregnancy. I didn't get any morning sickness. The only thing that really did affect me was smells. When I was pregnant, I could smell anything, your sense of smell, and then you'll start nesting during the end trimesters or whatever. It's been a couple years since I had children. My youngest is 11. But our doctors are more advanced now. But God, if you're conceived a baby, that's from God. It's a gift from God. So I know it's a scary time at times, but some people are extremely excited, but sometimes maybe it came at a time where you're just really extremely poor. Well, Mary was very poor, but they were rich in spirit. You could have all the money and be unhappy, trust me. But you can always have a career. A couple years after the babies, you could start working on something. You could start making cookies or something. I don't want to say it like that. It's up to you. But there is ways you can make income from your house. A lot of my mom's friends, she did hair and stuff like that. And there's also job training. But right now, God, if you have that child, that's a gift from God and nothing else. And I know not every situation is ideal, because, like I said, sometimes the guys disappear, right? This is supposed to be the fathers, but I would say if you're a father and you're expecting a baby and now the relationship is strained, just do everything you can to be supportive. It's very important, because this is your child, this is your seed, this is your baby inside that woman. So do everything you can to, whatever the woman needs, whatever the mother, your child needs, provide that. Because think about it, as we get as you go along, it's really hard to work a 40, a full-time job if you're carrying, your stomach's getting bigger and bigger. It's a lot on the body standing. I remember I used to do cashier, and on your legs, it gets very heavy after so long. You only can stand so much because the weight of the baby is, it's heavy, but it's definitely all the pain and all the stuff you go through to carry this baby is worth it. And if I can offer anything, put cat cocoa butter on your stomach, because I thought it was cute with stretch marks. But the stretch marks on my stomach are remind me of when I had my children, and it's a beautiful thing. So that's all I can say. If you're expecting, congratulations. And there's a lot of places that have, like, I always shopped at thrift stores, and then if you go on Facebook, a lot of people give away baby clothes. So if you can do that, if you're on like a fixed income, even if you weren't, you can look around. And a lot of people, because the baby outgrows stuff so quick, so you can get a lot of stuff looks brand new because you barely use the clothes. A lot of time I was only using 3 or 4 outfits, but then the rest of it was like brand new. So you always have somebody that has clothes, from when their baby was little. And so that's all I want to tell you. So congratulations if you're expecting, and God loves you. And that baby's not a mistake. That baby is meant to come into this world. All right? God bless you guys and have a wonderful day. Please thumbs up. Thank you.